This one.
Different world.
But if you look at the, she didn't even work.
Probably something. What they're talking about.
Oh, I saw Julie.
Julian's
I don't know.
Were you on it? I was wondering,
What I did
I presume nowadays they must I can't imagine how noisy it must be. When those places I know there's a fair number of
we can talk about that.
Damn house. And we're in here.
Right now, we got 120. Bring the sixth grade and then you gotta have at least 2 floor Spanish feet.
Thank you so much. Every week.
So Charlie.
So one side was more effective. Are you, are the hearing aids good enough that you're most comfortable on now? Or is it still?
Big enough.
Right. Well, that's good, they should.
We don't have line 7. We don't have line 2.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to set up some.
But I still don't understand why we're.
Now this is that 1/7. So you need me to come on the council and help you do the budget?
It would all.
Yeah, exactly. Can't hear you? Because the light, really can't.
So he's.
All right, everyone.
But I am a guy.
Good evening, everybody. 6 o'clock. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here. Couple things at the top before we get started. We do have a new guest here tonight. Drew, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, but Drew Johnson from the Scarborough Leader has joined us tonight. He's going to kind of get a sense of what it is we're doing. So as we break these two groups, Drew may be kind of visiting each group. And Drew, do you have anything to say, asking some questions, or just kind of?
I don't bite.
You don't bite. So everybody welcome Drew to the process.
Welcome aboard.
So with that, let's get going. We've got sort of a busy night. So the first thing is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I think with that, we did not have the minutes for the last meeting, but tonight we have the minutes from 5/6 and 5/13 that I distributed. So hopefully everybody's had a chance to see that. Motion for any discussion.
I move the minutes of May 6th and May 13th be accepted as distributed.
Second. All those in favor? We had talked about having potentially review of the survey results by the consultant, but that did not work out for tonight. And I don't know, Nick, any thoughts about?
Yeah, we'll try to work it out. We're still talking.
Still talking, okay. And then Charlie Peters is not here this evening. He had a conflict. I think he has 2 of his kids are playing ball tonight, so he's you know how that goes. Charlie was working on the matrix. We will get that approved and out to you this week. We haven't had a chance to look at it as a leadership group, so we'll skip over that. And then with that, I think it's, maybe calling out the communications group has put some really great information up on the websites. I don't know if anybody from that group wants to kind of just give a plug for what you put out there. You've updated it. It's easy to find, easy to read.
Absolutely. Have you guys seen the website? Has everybody been on the website? Because if you haven't, make sure you go. And it was just updated today. We have survey results out and we have an overview of the 4 plans that the group is working on. And then the next step is going to be going out for community engagement and save the date for May 30th. We'll have a community engagement event and invite members of the public to take a look at the plans, to learn what we're doing, to give us some feedback on where we are and where we want to go, to help us shape that direction.
So thank you. That looks great. Thank you. And I think
The website give you the power to see click-throughs? Are you able to see how many people are going on the website and what they're doing?
I don't know. The webmaster probably can, I can't.
Yeah, we certainly have analytics behind the scenes. Sure.
Okay.
You interested?
Yeah,
I presume with the
absolutely.
question? Sure,
Thanks,
I'll
Tom.
get that circulated.
Okay, so with that, I think then the rest of the evening until about 7:45, break up into the groups. What we're headed toward is getting ready for report outs of the groups of sort of the recommendations as we move toward our sort of goal of getting a report out to the town council and board of education by the 12th of June. So use the time the groups get. Sue?
I know that on the website, the mention about the meetings, it does say that if you are a member of the public and want to have some input, please come to the meeting for public comment. And I thought it might make sense to see if there's anybody here now from the public who hasn't been part of this, who has public, rather than make them wait to the very end of the meeting.
Great suggestion. So with that, is there anybody here from the public that has public comment or anybody online? It's a good idea. We'll change the agenda so we do that up front going forward. Great suggestion. So with that, maybe everybody move into their groups. And we'll reconvene at about 4:08. Yep.
Warning and all of that. Alright. I'm sorry. No, let me.
I missed last week.
Yeah, right. I was told one day and I was like this, and I was this is like something that is not.
No, no.
Yeah, right.
I don't think I'm gonna get in there. I just-
Yeah, I feel like we left
Yeah, do you want more go out to the library?
Oh, yeah.
No, you're gonna get applause like that.
First reporter in America to ever get applause.
I had a signed seat, Jim. Not in that. I chose to sit next to you.
Yeah, like I told you, some days I'm
All this random stuff happening all at once. Somebody's good break from getting stuff away from it.
Yeah, so that's what is this over?
I'm gonna go early and wasn't.
Yeah, oh, yes,
You know what's a lot of fun? Back in the game, actually going down to.
Yeah, I.
Oh.
They're going.
This is the one I was saying, right? This is the most updated version of this document.
Sure. That's why I suggested we see if we can have two different, I mean, I don't know if we can, I don't know if we'll be allowed to have. I thought it might be sensible to. At least the in-house.
Perfect, okay. I was like, in this state.
And then we can kind of have an internal discussion around what we want to present to the larger community. I think the first thing that we need to, we need this.
Not only. So,
I wish that we didn't have an email.
leadership last week and they basically said, come back with, you know, some thoughts on.
So that's why I'm sorry if I did.
So, what I kind of wanted to recommend is just that, you know, phase one ends with the grant that we have, and we just spend engagement time with the community, figuring out how to shape them and making people feel like.
Is that actually what,
That is.
I guess I was under the impression that like. Our overall.
I think that's it. I think, you know, I mean, I was just reading an article about it. That also just carries forward.
It doesn't make sense, it's way more expensive, then you're back to square one, so. No, it's
Satisfied.
So we're not.
Not here tonight either, but she and I were like, if they had. Our social media. Figure out.
Just to see what they would suggest, flexible.
Oh, nice.
Fix it all out.
Well, yeah, I'm although, but if we go straight, we don't have to pay for yeah.
You know how many square feet?
Yeah, so like,
I'm actually in front of it. He texted me at 5:40.
I think that's why I was
I have the numbers, I'm going to my hotel, it's like it's still. So sometimes the next couple hours. Like, you start to keep taking it right. I got like, we're right here.
that's why I think if you move them to Wentworth by moving somebody out, yeah. Right.
This is the permanent modular structure.
And there's obviously a lot of office.
A lot of stuff, we went, it's pretty high.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Okay,
that's what
really
I-
high end
There's a term that we were using.
So she said, one thing she said to me, what's up with the email was, don't confuse modular rooms. Manufactured like
I will.
trailer home, just drive it, deliver it. It's manufactured completely done offsite, shows up. Modulars, they basically put together the foundation, plumbing's all put in, all that, and they.
How much that kind of She's like, you're our value. It's a mess. Yeah, he's like, you barely have that. It's great. And I was like, great, that's why I'm paying a fortune in heating.
Right, it matters as much.
I know. It says something about. That makes sense to you guys. 39. Yeah, I think I have something like Art Bell.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, at least with, so I spent pretty much.
Which is like
the last week laying out what a primary addition would be. For space,
My cat.
accommodate 190 students, they're gonna exist in each of these three primary schools. So I'll pass around the three different proposals, but what I originally proposed was strip them all down, put a new modular construction up. But we don't have the money, it's just the reality of this. The likelihood of convincing voters to do it is going to be like, I'm not gonna argue. I'm just not.
We were talking through, yeah, and then I have. the rationale.
And there's no change where you don't get.
Yeah, like a presentation was there.
Not as much, it's still gonna be changes, but.
Any one of them.
Changes spot up.
So, to get us started, what's your have a concept that everybody can, might not agree on, but can buy into, and we can make it happen. So what I'd like to suggest, I'd just like to bring this up. So the concept is. No, the big picture concept is to take the second grade. Second grade goes to Whitworth.
Set that number aside, and now we're just in how many
That's why I was like, I think you're talking about like the other. I had no idea. Yeah, well, I'd like to. Like, we know. It's just so much. It takes that there are questions. Hopefully no one presses that. Well,
He's got it. No, totally fine.
We're just.
It reminded me what I think about. So when you go through and look at, I did everything for great research.
That's.
I got all the way down to literally music.
That's like good for the, like, you know.
This is that thing.
She's just having a hard time.
Yeah,
hearing you.
sorry,
There's so
it's
much
very-
background noise.
Yeah, no, it's okay, it's not your fault.
I already know where you guys live.
I think I might need one.
I have. No, you're fine. So anyway, I did.
And if we can make it a square rather than this long rectangle, because that way, yeah.
Then I also.
Right here, yeah, yeah. Trying to like squeeze.
Chairs. We're gonna go like this. Yeah, there we go. Bring that right over here.
Multiply that by 3.7.
We have to report, you're not gonna know what to do.
When I started working. So anyway, this is all.
This all. Last time we worked on it, I had.
Somewhere in between, you know, reactions.
Add them all together, okay? Took that number, divided by 1,000 square feet for each classroom.
Yeah.
Well, it stays the same as in our first.
Yeah. You know, we are.
might write the short.
Exactly. So I could see something like that happening. Basically, ten firms. If we had, once we got, you're starting to buy out some contractors. It's kind of on payday. Push the every option.
Yeah, exactly, so that's, yeah, I know, but the thing is, we have three plans that basically speak to.
I don't think it's something we like. So, community results that we put out, cost. Like 60%.
Yeah.
So all three schools would have challenge me. All I took is
Survey then I could go, year, it would be not modular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like the pure. Thing is. Those modular.
I mean.
See, some of these are great.
I was told not to count it, but don't build that work.
That's one of the.
No, I didn't know that. Is that the total?
So is the problem that it's.
I am, but I'm saying.
I don't know some.
Whatever they want. If they wanted to have it.
Cheaper than buying land, huh? Like all the deals. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right.
No, all they said was. And if you can get down lower, report it.
Before you get to that lake, there's that extension road. That, and all the way back.
That moment in time, someone that's what they said they could support.
That's true.
Ask them a different time,
Now, those
put
are
in the same
Spend
issue.
half your day going to the.
You're gonna grab some of those from the right away.
Remember to short down that.
And they all want.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grab it, because I have a straight
That's not old.
That thing was,
So, yeah, it's gonna be 18.
I catch it. I know where, I know where.
Either has to shrink.
yeah, that was, I don't know, I mean, that's pretty cool work. Diana and Janice.
I'm glad I asked you that.
It's a great question.
Yeah, two sides. So your cost,
That actually included.
Yeah.
backs up. 4 or 5 different
That's in my head.
stories.
Did we present this one?
Might be the first front page.
That's great.
That space and that one.
I think you should write this one.
And so what they wanna do though is have like.
I can narrow that down.
That'd be great.
You can have this for handout, also, so this one.
Nothing has to be replaced.
Waiting for an okay, waiting for everybody to, okay.
Basically put up the Facebook stuff, right? On channel 2. Because you start making stuff like Facebook. Good data streaming and the
Eliminate the portable use.
What they do. I used to do the 16 lines.
They're bringing water in.
That's why I'm bringing it up. Rule of thumb was back then, everyone to show long enough.
Talk about each person.
James.
Actually, at a planning board meeting today. Yeah. Yeah. You have all water.
Just need an okay, all of the.
Yeah, Megan's the one who's making those Facebook posts. But that would be pretty engaging, but that would be more engaging, like,
Well, no,
you
it's
know,
one
like.
big one. Based on.
And then probably not Sanders plan, but I guess.
For instance, let's say.
Yeah.
That's, what did you get from Test Fred? I didn't get it. I didn't-
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming today.
I know, so we just saying the.
Bear with me, it's lobby logic. It's really hard to do.
Yes, I heard you guys talking about that, and I had to look it up, and I was like. That's the only time
The ranch is. Big stuff. That's the biggest thing is make sure. Yeah, pretty good. Would there be a way for us to jig it down so that we can back that out? Let's get the numbers. Bill, you out of the water, or you guys in the range?
Build your house in a factory, I can make one with you.
Your house is starting great.
I think if the renderings, they should be able to do. I won't be quick rendering. Yeah, I can work on the paper, I'm sure they can grab it. I think I might throw it. Yeah.
Totally right.
Yeah.
Peter?
Oh, yeah.
Are we meeting next Tuesday?
Yes.
Because if not made.
One of them.
That's the only problem.
And then if we can get the cost down, we gotta get rid of more ecological. Just shut off.
Do you think?
What I think is.
So I don't think it's so much of a heavy. I think it has to do with the stuff. You really get some rooms are like super money.
I was already married to Dirty. I got married to
Oh, wow.
You've been in the.
It's $4 million.
Yeah, there are days, there's some board. Yeah. That should be right, that's how you stop. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'd like to have something.
Yeah, that's great,
My parking space is right, she's not having it.
I think that's part of the, I'm not suggesting my first one. I think that that's more based too, like that's getting into sort of the micro stuff on these things. The whole idea of phase one is to line 30,000 foot. Here's what we might do. Kind of the thing is that phase two, depending on what comes out of SBC, teachers is to behind the real professional.
I agree.
Putting this stuff down.
Like
It's
sometimes.
really hard to get into.
There are other things too, but this solution gonna bring a lot of different. Being up space, or having large. Or other services.
So that's, I would say, safety, security, and flexibility.
That's the way I felt. That was the way I kind of did it. My presentation was, you weren't gonna do those renovations. You were gonna save a lot of money on them. Some bus students were gonna have separate rooms for arts. And I think some visual arts.
This is
And I conceptualized cafeteria in the gym addition part of it also. I was wondering is that? So again, I'm not suggesting we get rid of it, I'm just suggesting we have a hybrid.
I don't know if Facebook actually has less numbers on it. It's the same. I talked
See where we're at.
Yeah.
So when I took some-
Check it out.
Yeah.
It's yours. Rest of the class, it's like.
Senior day, the senior day event is not, I think, also finished the high school. Yeah, it's 5, 6, Oh, yeah, the
Yeah, no, I think part of that. I think like. This is my opinion, you don't have to do
We're getting into.
I got one.
One has like 20. Right.
We should be.
I have had secretaries say
You should probably.
It's not safe.
That's good. Because if we're scaling back our renovations, then we have zero issues with.
You can get them, you do a tour of his house, you can just present that in one summer.
Right.
I think that's like our.
Fine. Yeah, sorry, I thought you were talking about.
You know what I mean?
So compared to what's built in there, scan it.
Jill too is slide.
And then you got my.
Why would all the findings.
I don't know. New generation.
You know, that hierarchy, safety, break on space.
When the TV's up and it's going right back, make sure that ties into the survey.
Right, so benchmarking needs again, there was security.
Number one.
Okay.
Like, place number two.
We did have Jim in the cafeteria in there, James backpedaling on film, man.
But that gets like.
And I'm the one, that breaks my heart. All my kids like, you know, it's like chicken cold cheeses in the corner.
So my original solution to that was you reduce the students at the building. Yeah, I was just thinking that might be a way to reduce crowding, because I same thing, I said on a grilled cheese. I said, you reduce the number of students, you're reducing the crowding in the cafeteria, like, you're still gonna have.
So that's a pretty good question.
I just wonder how much competition they have. Well, let's get to the We're not accessing the cafeteria. The other thing is on there, I think it's on the potential access. Okay. I think it should be I wonder if it's half organic.
Right, they got their lunches, there were free lunch periods. You gotta be able to put a few things in those lunchtime.
Well, if we sell it as a killing a couple times, let's sell, we have white space.
There's a jamming gun. Things when they're spraying out right now, and they are looking at
It rains a lot.
just running it. Start taking them things for
Here's another thing. Oh my God, you're talking about 60%.
This is what we're working on. Because the rest of you say, there are 4 options.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was here, but get something else. Nothing.
It's like that's terrible.
55%.
And you offer.
I would tell them to. Didn't you say that, that means that some of these people.
More like this.
And Megan to kind of design it.
I don't know, I mean, renovation or
Something
something like that.
It kind of catches the eye.
I don't know how many people actually know.
Some people might say.
I mean, the survey is great.
I almost feel like.
Take care of that.
It sounds like all.
Can you be our spokesman?
Yeah, we'll just say AF.
So you can get all the information without this one. This is April. So it's just got a top, but it's no top. Oh, so that's.
I said this in my, it's like, bring it up.
Pleasant Hill doesn't have
That's the other thing.
But that's.
I don't know how many people would actually say that, but.
You get Steve Hanley.
Separated
Right. I don't think, right.
We're reducing the number of grades.
So do you, I see what you're saying.
When I did that. In fact, these two together, these two.
You guys. What's the minutes?
I'll make you.
I haven't done Prezi in 20 years.
Yeah, I remember basically having an AI report that's listening to this, distilling it, and making it PowerPoint. Make us a presentation.
Good AI.
I use that number that
Actually, my wife is kind of
Yeah, she's played around.
We don't have that.
I think the idea is that.
I think I'm taking all these, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Architects and contractors.
No,
What else is on it? Like,
We're gonna have to have you tell us stories.
I feel like we
Got it.
I think this group, school within this group. Community service.
You want the voters to go after. We did that. I will remember your song.
I don't see that.
Parents are talking.
It's gotta be.
Everyone in this.
The other point is.
They're all.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
What's like?
The idea is.
Well, they also have breaks too. They'll take a break.
One way.
They'll just put out like, we'll be back and. I think I told you, so you gotta give it some. They have no chance, no chance to help. Yeah, sure.
And
I don't think they're
lay
going
that-
to, like, when they have a workshop, they'll be. They're all crazy.
Straight out of my
There's
mind.
just
Yeah, I mean,
dead
it's
air
just like-
right now. It says
Yeah.
no back.
Yeah, so why not use that?
No, Charlie told me something. I'll tell you, John emailed me. Well,
Yeah,
that's
they're
the only one I think I like different ones that kind of conflict.
I'll let you in.
Send it to me and I'll. Second grade. I wanted to give them to the- Yeah. Yeah, I would say the number's one kind of shy away.
I know,
You wanna go to school on Saturday when you're 12?
Oh my God.
Don't add that one in there.
Yeah, make sure the AI didn't pick up on that one. Last slide.
Could it be done?
So they said that they would do each one on.
Second to wet work. What's like the project? Is that gonna be useful in presentation or is that?
How long did it take?
Well, we're definitely doing.
Yeah, so
you have.
even the K two, they, I see.
And they started one year.
No, my only like type stuff is like. From a schedule. Trying to sell a classroom space.
One of the complaints.
I think that's a kid, so. That was security. Security, we get smoked without a doubt.
Anyway.
Yeah, it just feels like, it's like a big house.
Yep.
But we also got usually time.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right, interesting.
Previous direction.
Is that what you're saying
I
at?
think you could do, not hard.
Well, no, but it's, I mean, it's there. I mean, there are.
Well, you totally do.
That's a great idea.
So if you do the boilers, then all. Basically. Every valve should have.
How invasive is small project?
Not that.
So we have something like overtime.
I know.
It's the same.
You were saying, oh, that's what you
Yeah, I started looking at the numbers. We did another project. Put it all.
I was gonna say, I'm curious.
There are some things. So I can pull some of that stuff in and try to, if we can do it by like.
I think you can
We're not doing any of it per se. There was one of the schools that didn't have enough power.
I think James was saying that you could actually add these additions to it.
I don't think that's the. That's not basic, right? Probably need to transfer.
But things like Wentworth had to be built. So he chose to build it and he bought that.
No matter what it would be. Whatever. I think if I was in charge of the.
What's the meaning that's if they don't
You get the money, you put some bank, there's money on it.
Just non-requirement?
Rides with your inflation, and you put it in place.
Are they sharing
5 years.
each other or they have
It's a
their own?
bond like that.
So that's reason you get a mix of it.
That makes so much sense.
What do you think?
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, you know, but like.
That could be a little.
Don's actually got a lot of experience actually operating this.
I think what you do.
But I still think your expertise doing that is better.
I don't know.
So that's good.
We also want.
So I think. Yeah, right. The idea is you obviously
Well, yeah, you gotta tell me what you want to set up. You want single speaker.
Right.
So you got 4 speakers. with four. So
I think we're really loud.
Podium or just-
Yeah. So yeah, I think
So we could probably.
Yeah. That's part of what I don't know, is like, how does that even, how is it even gonna work? One time tape with materials you want to have.
The power of the internet.
Where are they gonna be doing this?
That's to be a little, yeah.
So I guess about a week, we could chase down.
What is the date? Is that right?
Yeah, I think I saw for a second, I wish I was like, was it high school seniors or is it seniors? But I think
And then
it's
we're
some
due for decision.
You go online and you can stuff like shop, you start
I think
searching.
this is the one.
Yeah, but then.
I hope not.
I mean, it seems all right, like everyone presents June third, everyone has a vote, vote.
It's like.
I think we have
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. No, but you know, the first like month. I mean, don't you think it's? Oh, he was always there. I was gonna pull the like the first or second day. Yeah, it's red, yeah.
One or the other, right?
Pretty well undersized. This year we nominated with DOE recognition.
We're just in the middle of the. Yeah, right.
Five to 6:30, right?
So this guy John's gonna want to talk. You guys?
Another.
Which guy? Talking right now. Oh, yeah.
One thing I would say about I don't know why they're doing this.
I mean, that's the only thing they're building. What is the carrying capacity of?
Yes.
Let's talk about that again, whatever you want.
Yeah. So, yeah, like appropriate size lounge, how that's where that is.
And that's why I'm not evaluating size of like how much.
See how like this. Just go forward.
First identify the primary.
Is that they're I think that's phenomenal. Oh, I see that.
Yeah. Then we can, as far as classroom, what's our number gonna earn?
No, but is that the concept, like the.
For the rest of the class. You know,
This is usually
one classroom. Because I'm
Well,
in
yeah.
sixth grade, 16.
I was gonna wait till the end of the meeting.
I'll talk to
I was thinking.
That edition.
And we would get answers like state.
It also. Carol and I haven't really figured out is what size.
Yeah, like, so I'm not gonna be.
I
part of
use
the traffic circulation. I'm trying to
And
and the Ford School is the bonus.
Oh, yeah, we don't know where.
Like kind of got a permission.
On my school.
You just keep working the room, huh? I just didn't know. Put us up during, you know. Yeah, who's running for town council, guys? Oh, that's right,
Yeah. We figured that after,
Alright.
oh, no, I'm sorry. What did I have in my book? I'll have to go back to the.
That's all it takes. So going back to the Reading, this is a lab.
So we have.
Katarina and Karen, the library size meter.
I think it's something like that would still be okay.
That's like a 50-page contract.
Yeah, this one.
So had to be done in much more professional way.
We're trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
So
What I
the
really
main
liked
one.
about this was
Maybe she was-
all the documents, you know, the floor plan.
It's got
Looking at Glenn.
He's just kind of like, that's what I'm like, no, he's not. And he was like, so.
I was gonna say, I like this. I like this.
Yeah, in addition to the.
We always have to be that sound reasoning.
Now that we're
Yeah.
in agreement on. Minimum rent. Plus the budget.
Yeah.
Who's other groups? What's the extent of the renovations and how are they?
This was discussed pretty early last week.
It was a great.
They showed it to us, and I said, I'm not even.
So then what's this? It's just the communication. Just building a website. So I.
Yeah, and that's a lot.
The existing structure.
Then he'd be I'm not doing that.
No, it's.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
For you. One ID address.
It would be downstairs bathroom, common bathroom, restroom, it's like bar music or a cafeteria, they can have some sort of common area where they can use that. I projected in the stalls.
Just gotta let her know we're taking a.
None of my.
She's in New Orleans. Probably already. Yeah, well, that's okay,
I forget, so we have the teacher break room, so for the teachers are on the second floor, they have a place to go, they have a whole bathroom in there.
I'm really hoping.
There will be free kindergarten, classes, classes, and also the recommendation. First, 1,000. And have some.
It's like that
There you go.
So, 150 years later, here's the class.
Isn't it just here as in?
Yeah. We've been just gonna get that for
But correct me if I'm wrong, since we're not the decision makers, no matter what is voted on in the room, it's going to get added to by the town hall anyway. The meeting, I would, oh my
I would say I probably
In the library.
So that's the first, this is the original.
So summer, they went for a place to
But you and I both know.
I'll email. We want to have a discussion about this. Last meeting, I spent Carol, I had.
It's like a self-assessment.
Potential for us. And it was a, within our 35 to 40 million. As part of the we're not gonna identify exactly how we're gonna do it.
I think you have to know what you recommended last week, like, does impact that to what extent we can afford to do it, yes, we pay attention to that.
Yeah, but I think there's like. I just find it hard to. It's done for the 610. Right. Right, it's still cheaper, by the way, it's still cheaper to do the, if you add a 20% multiplier, which saves 30%. It's still cheaper.
Oh, that makes sense.
So no matter what, you know, your guys' idea, I think it was too complicated.
Slash AKA mod, we're gonna bring in some.
Right, because we're talking about. I don't know, that
Some of those are just. Some of those pictures look like ours. The Harvard one, if you read those, that's
Right, and so my last video, my last talking was. Like that is used just straightforward and lines, but that
Like, I think 130 is a problem.
for each I had a school in New York.
Yeah, but I can, we can look at both sides.
That's right.
But I think
No matter what the cost. No, my point is life. You know.
This is based on precious. Yes, but another. Oh, that's.
But I don't know why
They should go upside to it. So this week is.
Added to the list.
So, this model.
I know, I was like, my husband actually made me one. I like
Not
wanted to
yeah,
do a little thing.
but at a much higher level. I don't include it, but.
You know what?
You have to go around with these. For roughly. Kids, I think.
If you've never been right, they really say schools are overcrowded. Let that oh, that's not good.
What happened?
Is this one of the modulars?
Yeah.
Security. Because we really don't.
I don't know, they got. I'm just trying to visualize, I know that, well, the roommate, I don't build, so I just think I would have to plan.
I'm just saying.
Because when you have passion, you
Keep going.
Keep saying it.
Just say it, think about it.
Is the problem that it's
That's where we should be going another.
Well, that's.
The property itself. We never had
Really good at presenting the.
That's what I said. For the policy, apply for,
What are the benefits of the challenge? This proposal, these things doesn't need names, which is what,
I am saying that technically.
would it be surprising?
Oh, I think part of the challenge there is.
The other thing we have to think about too, so as a Charles and I, Carol, we haven't talked much about papers, I talked about like time. Right.
Right, all right.
We, if we have areas
But I still.
$6 billion choreographed. And so renovations.
Including the sixth grade. But that sixth grade.
You said 12,000. You said 12,000. 12 million. Well, we're gonna get that.
I'm just thinking of leading.
goes up to Henny where he works. It's a great
That one's at $900 square foot, one's at Harvard. That one looks like a nice, like. The outside of the building. That's something. Start doing like marble.
And I don't know. My family.
New construction?
Don't follow me.
That cheap tile.
Need to get always looks beautiful the first day of school. Yeah.
Well, phase two, right, and then figure out.
Look at it, and dots are.
Oh, I don't think we should.
So that's what my point was, I don't think we should try to.
Yeah, I think we take that.
Right, it's
Select like the trucks they get out of, you just move it on like a nice day.
I didn't have this.
Their work session.
Oh, that's the benchmark.
Can we some of the thought? Right. Green because they got it, and red so they don't, or yellow, yellow then somewhere.
Maybe we spend the first 10 minutes. And they can spend with this. Just work it down.
Again, the fag is on the renovation. That's all bad that we're cutting.
They were talking about.
We're gonna get all this in jail.
We'll bring forward the ones.
We don't.
So that.
If it's not the same thing, you have to find it.
I taught high school, yeah, sophomore.
Conceptual defined, but it's advancing concepts.
Taught the old building and the new building.
Conservation.
I didn't mind the old building at all. I was cold on the other side.
No, those are.
And hot in the summertime, even in the new. Yeah, so like, yeah, but we didn't have AC though.
Yeah.
God, no.
No, I was just thinking
I'm really impressed with your time. We were talking about. So my kid said, he's gonna like. Oh, yes, I'm gonna step in, but
Yeah,
so we can have something actionable.
No, I think we did.
He's the one who like.
And I think
15 minutes.
You want to give her bigger meetings, right? So I think that has to. Like the process.
I think he's just trying to get it.
Nice cantilever.
There it is.
That actually looks just like the cafeteria second floor.
Yeah.
Sounds like
I did earlier, I was out
Come back.
You could have this little cartoon going in the background. Although that's not. It looks more like a warehouse. It is a warehouse.
Sure.
Yes, you can. I mean, homes or quorum, either one.
It's okay, it's a cafeteria. And they can organize how we
See the kids.
So I guess it's interior pictures. That's from Whitway, or it's not gonna matter what company you take.
Go to Uline. Go to Uline.
Yes.
I'm on
Uline
just stellar.
I was
trying to see
I know that. Feels like it, right? Yeah, well, no, it's like they saw.
You have people talking about you can bet here.
Oh, yeah? Like, this would be a great picture for us to show, little elementary pictures. I can't imagine.
The difference between
Like-
67,000 square feet.
That looks like a big.
Oh, yeah, because I think I picked area. Maybe they could get a hallway in there.
And then-
That looks nice, that's the.
Does that make sense?
And that build in extra capacity. You know, like that's the low end of that. I would say I'm not sure.
Yeah, so they could do something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so like. Sure, be not chill.
So we're saying it's fine, but yes.
My kid wrote this.
Hey, it's fine, sounds good, those moms will take care of it there.
Shaking the roll up.
Tomorrow, I will, after my 9:30, what is your?
No, anything, what's happening in my schools, I will be reaching out to all.
Let's get the teacher. Yeah, that was leading my existence.
We have to figure out what's the
Hopefully it's a sunny day.
I love it, I'm watching it from here.
It's not even the cover. You like jump in, you like, I'm spending, where are you gonna spend the water?
You can now walk on the real track,
I mean, all with that, like. Right, like.
The little kids would have blast with it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And the street,
That property is listed.
So, what's the answer? So, the last thing we have is.
That number.
I was gonna say.
I'm sorry, you said 390, yeah, these. 390. Just the one up there
I was driving for the first time already.
I went to take a left hand turn and and like it's Boston, I was 18 at the time. Never mind driving to Boston.
Well, when you turn left, the cop is literally outside of his vehicle staring at you. I like I was so panicked. I was just trying to run my sister's car up and he's just, he literally just. I was 18.
Like how people drink.
I really have it show up right now, like, get out of here, because I was in the center. Further down the road, breathe for like 15 minutes, and then continue your journey.
It only works if
I was
they
like,
set up for the kids that
right on the
can actually be
and
part
he
of
said they're like, oh, Sally was Massachusetts forever too, so I don't have that. I don't know how.
So we don't need to go.
My favorite accent.
Does it have a name brand?
37.
It does.
I literally just love that.
But I got to you guys don't care if it's on the.
And somewhere I did and I got out of the car. And as I got out of the car, I could hear him going, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." No, he goes, well, now I'm actually sorry. I was like, sorry. He's like, there's no.
Tomorrow.
There's no room. 4 minutes.
I think for these.
Some labs have.
Oh,
I
Unless you.
Right. 9.5. That's what I'm saying. Just 17. Like.
You know what I mean? It's right next to it.
They were on.
Starts at 5. And you add.
Air dating.
For we got shots in the first period.
Well, because their defense was.
I was 6 top half, that makes sense.
Yeah, like a robotic.
And those lines are.
Yeah.
9 to 5.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
I think that's a good 5.
I'm so telling.
Oh, we're gonna keep the existing. Yeah, oh, no, no, we're keeping it. Yep. Would be hesitant. And that's why I want a larger. Because in theory, if I don't provide it, we have.
I was saying, it was kind of like, showed our hand right here.
Providing the current one.
We're the ones in the negotiations.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, you know, whatever.
Yes. So there is the idea to do a stage there, I think to be more consistent than it is. I would want.
Yeah, you just got preferred that.
Let's do it. One of those like they do it with yeah. I think that you could do that if you have, if you use that. I will say that adding a new gym, I actually think there's a value on financial value right now. If you like the space out, whether the gym has its own exterior entrance, big work, that could be rented out.
That's where you're still.
They do it in high school.
Okay, so for next week,
The same thing with fields. I mean, fields are all rented, like all private. Like they pay field fee. So.
That's what I'm gonna
That's time.
There's a lot of options.
All right, everyone, can we finish up conversations and come back together? You can stay later. So maybe in the interest.
Well, I mean.
I know everybody's,
I don't even know how.
I know everybody's engaged, but we're gonna finish by a couple things to do. Maybe the first thing is just kind of each group very quickly, just kind of report out sort of where they are. And, you know, what I will share is I think let me share a little bit and this can kind of feed into the report outs. We're thinking next week, we're gonna meet on Tuesday and not Monday, because we discussed that at a prior meeting that not a lot of people are interested in coming Monday night or Memorial Day weekend, so it'll be Tuesday. But I think what we're getting geared up to do is on June 3rd, each group start being prepared to do a presentation of sort of your concepts and your thoughts. As you kind of work through the details, we're gonna commit to getting out an evaluation sheet. There'll just be a matrix that you can use to kind of evaluate your solution against some of the identified needs. Our thought is you'll do a presentation on the 3rd, that Monday night. What we'll do is kind of what we did that started this process is put a poster up, capture your thoughts, capture that evaluation sheet, and it'll be kind of a simple, does your solution meet this need? Or meets it partially or doesn't meet it, but we'll give some direction for that. And then at the conclusion of that, we'll give you several stickers that you can go around and much like we did, kind of vote on the solutions that you think should move forward. The Board of Education and Town Council have said they're open to having, you know, several solutions brought forward. So I think we'll wait and see how that plays out Monday night on where people land on sort of the solutions that are being considered. So hopefully that kind of frames up what we're gonna do. That then we need to write a report and present it the leadership team needs to write a report and present it to the town council and board of education by June 12th. So there's a lot of things to get done in the next couple of weeks. So with that framework, then Tom, I'll ask you, Tom, you kind of we've talked a lot about from the survey on the affordability sort of question and sort of what is the sweet zone. Tom has done some analysis, which will be followed up with a pretty detailed memo, but for now, just so the sweet zone, Tom, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to interpret the survey results too heavily, but it seems pretty clear to me that we've got a majority support in town for that sweet spot of $200 to $400 increase in taxes paid. So some of you may be aware, we've developed a fiscal impact model that was used in the build-up to the last school budget vote, but it also is designed to deal with any input. There's a number of other major capital investments that have been in conversation. I'm quite pleased and proud of the model because it really is quite sophisticated. It factors in our annual capital investments that we make typically, growth in our budgets, so on and so forth. So I think it does a pretty good job. Now, keep in mind, we're looking out 30 years, so there's a lot of factors involved here. So I have prepared a memo. I need to fine tune it slightly. I'll circulate it tomorrow, but I'm bearing the lead a little bit here. With that sweet spot of 200 to 400, I'm confident saying that range, when you kind of reverse engineer it, is between 70 million and 130 million. Now, there's a big variation there. I think for working purposes, I would say 100 million is kind of the midpoint of that. Based on some of the early estimates that I heard from the groups, and I don't know how much confidence we have in any of those numbers, but directionally, it sounds like everything kind of fits within that range. And I don't know that this group needs to concern itself much beyond that. I think if we had an estimate that was way outside, then you really ought to be concerned, and it's probably dead on arrival. But I think everyone's still, by my quick assessment, kind of still in the running in that range. So don't stop your work. I think you're right there. And then again, I'll circulate a memo. I've taken a bit of a different approach. There's a lot more details that I can share with any of you who want, but I've put together a memo that hopefully explains it in kind of consumable way. So I'll circulate that tomorrow. Okay.
And I think the only thing I'd add is, as you think about the presentation, again, I think there's been a lot of energy and passion in what you're doing, but again, what we're trying to get at is sort of high level concepts about, do your solutions start to meet some of the needs that have been identified? So there are, the next phase will apply the expertise of, experts to look at the numbers and some other things. So really, it's the conceptual sort of framework of what you're considering, and kind of maybe think about, we'll do that matrix and we'll share it with you this week. And then also maybe think in very simple terms, what are sort of pros and cons, if any, of your solutions, sort of at a high level. So what I thought again would be, you'll do your presentations, there'll be a chart, your pros and cons, the matrix will be there. Each group can kind of be around their poster. And as people think about voting, if they have any questions, they can ask you, and you can maybe give them greater detail to inform them on where they want to put their stickers. So with that, just each group, yes, Sue?
The model that, the finance model, is that the model that John Fuji had prepared last year?
Yeah, it's been modified slightly, but yes, largely the same.
It's been updated, like a year's gone by, and.
Yes.
Okay. Annalee, do you?
We're not coming Monday, right?
It's Tuesday night. Same time, same place, but Tuesday night. Unless you want to be here Monday, then we can go. Okay. You guys want to go first this time, or you went first last time?
Can I take my team with me?
Sure.
Well, how many minutes do we have to speak?
We 15.
Three.
Three.
I mean, just a real quick, this is just a real, for the presentation. No. For the presentations on the 3rd, is that what you're asking?
No, right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of been doing 3 minutes group, just so you can kind of, just a high level overview of sort of where you are.
So concept. Our concept is to add on to the middle school with either, if we use, we've got two choices here. We can use the Triumph building to add on. Makes a significant difference. We have numbers, but I'm not gonna go into them now. But there's a significant difference in using the Triumph building for the additional to the addition to the middle school. Concept now moves to the primary schools, where we would do away with the portables. Second grade moves to Wentworth, portables go away. And we put in square footage that'll carry us out 25 years with the Triumph building to the primary school. Then we've gone through, we've done a lot of detail relative to identifying the basic needs for the students. We haven't gone overboard with bells and whistles, it's the basic needs, but it does cover everything that has come forward in the survey. Okay, it covers keeping the neighborhood schools less the second grade. Dropping the second grade relieves some pressure there, adding on with more square footage at the primary school, bolsters capacity, and it gives us a way to balance out those three schools. We have, so we feel we've balanced out the primary schools. We feel that it was a good move to move second grade to Wentworth, fifth grade to middle, and it's a balancing act all the way that from our perspective works. It really does answer, I think, some of the concerns probably most of the concerns to everybody in this room. And the concept that we have detailed it. We know where we are relative to the detail. John has gone to the level of detail that would allow you to know that we have recognized the needs, the basic needs for all of the schools. And our number comes in under 100 million.
Just out of curiosity, what is a Triumph? What'd you call it, a Triumph?
Triumph, that's the name of the company with the permanent modular buildings.
Prefabricated.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys, would you guys like to go?
Oh, sure. All right, so we're working on the new Community Unified School, also known as the Consolidated School. So we were kind of firming up today that we were going to be moving K-3 to a new consolidated school, unified school, with 4th to 6th being at Wentworth, and then 7 and 8 being the middle school, which would bring us to the opportunity to getting rid of the portables. The middle school would be renovated in order to optimize security and meet those needs. And then again, the flexibility of building a new school, you can meet a lot of the criteria that have been met by the state and their needs, and the growth pattern similar to that of Wentworth, where you can already have an idea of how to build for the future as well. Similar, coming in at that range that Tom just mentioned, really focusing on what, strengths and challenges we have that can be moving forward.
Cool. So we're still the 4th K2 school model. So I'm not going to go into too much detail because much of that detail hasn't changed, but we spent most of our time talking about what kinds of things we can do to trim down the cost of our project. So those things included some of the renovation ideas that we had. We talked about where some of the land might be for our 4th new school. And we spent a lot of time talking about, we're going to get some real numbers from Triumph as well. But we just got to bring some details together until we're done. But our main objective today was really to talk about how much we could bring down cost. I think we're somewhere around $80 million.
Thank you.
We are still working on our idea of the new grade 2-3 school. With renovating the elementaries, which will be just kindergarten and first grade. We know that we are not going to be creating separate gyms and cafeteria. So we're looking at what aspects of it, what are the highest priority items that we plan to address. And additionally, we will be removing all the portables from the middle school, and that the middle school will just be grades 7 and 8. So the core spaces that are there will be adequate for the school population. It'll be below what it was actually built for, so. We are just trying to figure out what the highest priority items are. Our costs for the new grade 2-3 school is, if we use the 610 figure that we were given, it's 55.5 million, which leaves somewhere less than 45 million to renovate the elementaries. So that's where we are.
I guess historically, communications, like, you kind of talked at the top. Did you guys have anything you want to share?
Me, yes.
You're up.
So what we really like to do is call your attention, if you haven't been called before, to the community forum. It's gonna happen on May 30th, Wentworth School, 5:30 to 7?
6:30 to 8.
6:30 to 8, is what I'm saying. That's what he said. So we're really looking at this as our kickoff to our public engagement phase of this communications plan. No, I don't have to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway, and that is that no matter how good your plan and your solution is, no matter how cheap it is, we will fail if the public's not behind us, if they haven't felt they've been involved and engaged in this, and if we don't bring them with us to the finish line. Our motto has been engage early and engage often. And so far, we haven't done that. So this is our kickoff to try and do that. And the people that are going to help us do it is everyone in this room. Okay, one of the models that we are putting in place is the concept of a recruitment ambassador. Okay, it's hard to, we need to be able to meet people face to face. We need support. So everyone in this room is going to be designated as an ambassador. And your first job is to be absolutely sure you show up at Wentworth on May 30th at
6:30.
6:30. Okay. I haven't really been in that cafeteria. I don't think where it's going to be. I think it's a pretty big room, though.
It's a very big room.
What's it called? It's huge.
Yeah.
1,000 people, right? Okay, we're looking for standing room only. Have you ever been in a place where there's standing room only? You know there's something important happening there. Okay. And if that, and so I think we're gonna shoot for that, but you have to help us do that. Okay, we're really feeling a little bit under the gun here. We need your help, we need your support, and that won't be your last assignment. You'll be going to the farmer's market, you'll be going to your church setting, you'll be going to all of the things that happen during the summer. Give us a venue to meet with people and show them we're good people, we're not devious, we're not bullying anyone. Those are words that have been used before, as you well know. But when we get the results of the survey back for next year, no place in there for, well, they didn't listen to us. Okay, if they say that, we're failed, and we will all be very, very disappointed. Those who have been through that before don't want it. Okay, so pick up a flyer. First thing to do is pick up maybe 10 of them. Go around your neighborhood. I'm dead serious. And let's move the standing room on.
Excellent. We'll share it out electronically too, so you can print it, you can share it with your friends, put it on your Facebook, your Instagram, get the word out.
We have some copies up here too.
You're gonna be refreshments?
That's a great question.
You're in charge of refreshments, David.
No, that's actually a great question.
Standing room only, that is a lot of money.
All right.
If anyone wants to bring anything?
We're having a kickoff.
All right, thanks, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
I move to adjourn.
All those in favor?
John, nice job.
I actually think that
Hey, sorry I missed the meeting, but I was like, I blanked it.
I just wanted to confirm.
Giving her too many. Yeah, my kid's birthday party was this weekend, so my niece and nephew were there with my two children. I've always wanted 4, we only have 2. My husband's like, I'm not. So I was finally living in my glorious day of having 4 kids running around my house. My husband's like, I feel the exact same. I was like absolutely as happy as I have ever been. And my husband was like, this is too loud, too many feelings, too many emotions, a lot of feelings.
Yes.
I'm actively sending you flyers. All right.
Should we, all together or just table?
Oh yeah, normally we do. Did Jack come in?
It's gonna be Jack.
Here? He's right there. Some amazing work this week. Bringing out progress, one day at a time.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, let a couple other projects. Well, we got this stuff. We got some stuff on the website.
Yeah, I gotta glance through the website again. I didn't realize you guys just got that much stuff.
Yeah, it's good. Survey results posted. Say,
You know, there's a gas station. We're gonna have every credit union, every bank.
That's why I wanted to just introduce.
It's not always.
Or list your information.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, I already have it, well, anyways,
Yeah, my friends, the save the 30th. Big Dad do,
Yeah, how many kids do you have?
I only have two, my husband doesn't, but I met all my friends, I'm like, these are the days, we babysitter and dad's done.
That's great.
I have a lot of vowels, very expensive.
So I think.
You know what, we look forward to.
Try to stencil it out, you saw my one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that. We really have that.
No, it sounds
Yes, yeah. Oh, you already did. Yep. We had a conference. It's like a Zoom.
That counts.
It's like a meeting.
Other than us.
And then you're gonna come back.
Yes, so we have a recommendation, so.
You're like, why do you not?
So place our goals. And the ultimate goal is obviously to ensure the school solution passes. We wanna put something out that people believe in, that people feel like they're going along. That you buy into, right? So that's what we goal, and then our communication goals are laid out, and it's engaging in the public development. Gathering public feedback as part of the process.
Right.
Building trust in the community, which is key, it's really important. And educating the public about what it actually costs to build a school, because people are pushing back on these costs and don't want to spend too much, but guess what? You look at the cost of every school that's been built around us in the last few years, they're all around $100 million, right? I mean, it's expensive, so I think the more we can educate people about what it actually costs, the more perspective they're gonna bring. So, there are a lot of ways to, engage, there are a lot of ways to advertise. But this is specifically a plan for community engagement, how do we get people together around a table to discuss the ideas? So one of the things we think is the most important is to not narrow down the ideas, we think you should bring forward 4 ideas that people can robustly discuss. I mean, it's a conversation point, it's something that you can look at and creatively engage with and talk about. But we also just want to engage with people on, what went down last time? Why did you vote against the school? What are you looking for in the school? And then figure out how to talk to them. And you gotta do that one.
I actually love the idea. It's something that I've been kind of throwing around in my mind, because you guys had an opportunity, or has it come up in your discussion at all?
That's the extent of my build. And I found out
Can't afford to do a survey every single time with every single one. Have you guys had any conversations about how to get like a quality feedback on those 4 ideas from the public?
We don't have.
I haven't even brought this to leadership, this was like my thing of the night, so I wasn't sure.
In terms of something like quantifiable data, or just in terms of, focus group type things, it can give you a lot of qualitative feedback, and you use that to inform what you're doing, then maybe you test out an idea, you go to the next forum and you say, hey, what if we incorporated this? And, someone gravitates to that. A lot of it's just about hearing ideas from the public that can, inspire the work, but also just having the public feel like they're part of the process and being heard. I mean, that was so much of what they said coming out of the last one, despite the fact that you guys like tried to get them into, you know, and to me, they still felt like they were. And I think it's partly because one idea was at that time, you know, and they just felt like, okay, so this is it, and now they're gonna try to sell it to me. So bring people in early, so they're not being sold to, so they're actually selling their ideas to us, and responding to what we got.
I'd like for people to see the power to bring in more plans.
Yeah, and what I'll do is.
Yeah, if they want to,
I'll
great.
send that
It's not that I don't think the plans that you're working on are good.
And by email, and have them ask the question, because it's things like, you know, is it a risk factor, is it heard, is that?
Not that they're having something flop on.
That's what it is, basically, it's no.
They're not feeling fully.
It's not outside.
So it doesn't cost us anything to try and be as inviting as possible to have a fifth plan or a sixth plan. That may be one of the things we talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how we gauge people's reaction, but we can certainly work on ways to do that. Try to do this.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
Next step is.
Because you wanna hear it, but how do you organize, how do you?
But I think you just kinda gotta navigate your way.
My question is like, say we have 4 now, we
Yeah.
have 5 or 6.
Right, thank you. Yeah, we helped you,
Eventually.
Well, I think you would hire a professional who can actually gonna work with numbers on these plans and then
I just
present them
followed up.
to,
You flew with it.
you know, either you'll have a committee convene that's gonna work through them, and probably do some community engagement and see where people gravitate. I mean, there's gotta be a process to narrow them down. We're just saying, keep it open for longer and let people engage.
I think it's gonna be pretty organic. I think you folks formulate, come to, tear down the bill lands and start presenting data, and get some good cost data. It's gonna start diving, shaking something.
Next question. So if somebody comes forward with a form and pitches a fifth or sixth idea, like, are you proposing that we form another subcommittee to track it down? And with 2 weeks to go?
Not necessarily, but I don't know exactly what the deliverable for phase one is and exactly what you feel like you need to have in hand for phase two. But maybe phase two starts with these 4 plans and a couple other ideas that came up through community forums, and you kind of vet them a little bit, see if that makes sense. If they don't, you discard them or you incorporate them into the other plans. I think it's just a
Or like the
starting
public
point.
may not even necessarily propose a fix, but like they may bring up like an aspect or a concept or an idea, like the noodle that you brought, that like could have like worked in, like helped other people to kind of band together, or cause I actually did think it was a good idea.
Someone may come up with part of a plan.
Yeah.
That you're talking about, but I think you have to be prepared. If somebody walks in with a plan to evaluate it, and it may be a 5-minute evaluation, but I think they have to feel heard. I don't want people walking away and say, oh, they didn't listen to me, they didn't give me a chance. My guess is there aren't gonna be many of those. It's hard to come up with a plan like that. If someone has one.
But I guess to kind of get with a construct that we have.
Right.
Sort of where we are in the pathway, where the town council, board of education is expecting a report the 12th of June. And they're open to multiple suggestions, so your suggestion, we actually had a conversation about do all 4,
Yeah.
go forward.
Mhm.
But is your intent on the 30th that you're gonna try to get those alternative ideas in that form? And then I think a question for, when is phase 2 actually starting?
It's when we have to take the summer and coordinate with the school board on what phase 2 looks like. We have to write it up, we have to get some consensus behind it, and then figure out how that's gonna launch.
So there isn't, so to get to their point, so I'm just trying to figure out how this fits into the room, that we could deliver our deliverables, which are 4 solutions potentially, that are well vetted through this process. And then if phase 2 doesn't start until fall, is there room that during the summer, if something percolates up, that can be factored into phase 2?
You never say never, but
Yeah.
you know, or could it? I guess my overall concern is just the amount of effort and time that everyone is given to this process already. And then to have maybe somebody like circumvent all of this effort in some extent, because that doesn't sit 100% well with me. Not that there isn't a good idea, and if it's a good idea, you want it to bubble up. But how do you, I wanna make sure it's getting a fair shake too, right? What's the fair treatment to the people in this room that have dedicated their time? What's the fair shake to the person that just walked off the street and said, hey, I came up with a genius idea?
So put
You
a
know.
5-person committee together for them and give
And maybe you just rely on the school board and council at that stage to say, you know what, this idea has some legs, let's incorporate it in phase 2.
I was gonna say, could you kind of do like almost like a nod to it in the final report? Say like, we were able to start forums, through those forums on, with 2 weeks left, we were able to accumulate the ideas of A and B. They were not fully vetted, but
And maybe
need
that's
to potentially be investigated, like.
It's not a bad idea to say that maybe this full committee votes and says as part of your recommendations to the council board and your board, this idea also came up. It didn't come up till late in the process, and we think it deserves some more time.
Yeah.
And maybe your next phase.
Yeah, you
I
could,
think that's a
like,
fair way to handle it.
You could almost quorum it and be able to say like, okay, with the well-educated on the whole matter of all the work we've done for the past 5 months. With all of those things, factors in mind, is this something that could have legs? Or is it, based on X, Y, and Z restrictions that we've all been made aware of by Todd or by Diane or by Tom or Matrix, thank you. It's just not sustainable. I don't know, that could be a way forward.
I think there's a lot of I think
Does he have the answer?
I think
What's
there's
that?
a lot of alignment in what you guys are all saying. Like, I think the timeline, I think as we talk about it, like more and more, I think I'm hearing alignment on the overall kind of concept and flow and the direction that we're all moving. But I also think there's alignment on the timeline itself. I think we're comfortable. I've said, in leadership, and I'll advocate for it as loudly as people need me to, that that the council accept more than one recommendation. I don't think that that's the way to go. Others might, but I don't. And so if a general consensus can be reached by this committee to put forward all 4 ideas, to let that have the summer for the communications committee to continue to work and continue to engage. And then when phase 2 kicks off, we have a recap of the information that was collected over the summer, and we use that to inform the launch of phase 2. Like, I think that loosely, we're all kind of seeing a lot of the same things.
And I think that also gives credibility to every person in this room.
Yeah.
And the real commitment of time that each group has taken to develop their ideas, right? Because the last thing that we want to do is have anyone in this room walk away feeling disenfranchised because, they gave their pitch 2 weeks from now and folks said, oh, good idea, but it's not gonna cut it, right?
Yep.
And then we're looking at our peers who have sunk in countless hours. And so this would provide the opportunity for that catch up that you're looking for the community to have with where this group is.
Well, I don't think that anybody is gonna come in with a brand new idea, Nick. And I think they're gonna come in and if we present the 4 ideas the way that we have them and with the information we have and the dollars that we're presenting that we did tonight, I think you're gonna have people come in with a version of maybe 2 of them.
Right, how do you
Or something
work
like
it?
that.
Are there 2
But at
ideas
least
you
you've
can marry?
listened to them and they've been heard. I think that's the most important thing, because the survey results are pretty clear. And we need to go down through that list and we need to address as many of those as possible, because we can't go to the polls again with people just not saying that they don't feel like they're informed or that they were heard. We've got to look at all the aspects of it, and that's just my thought process on it. I don't think you're gonna get something brand new and present it to you on May 3rd. I think you're gonna have something.
What I like about your idea is that we would have the summer to allow the community to, even if they're not proposing overhauls of plans or new plans, to tweak the plans we have. They should, they've got time now, they can look at it. Some people, I'll bet they come in with some good suggestions, cost saving suggestions. So making those plans available to be modified by the public over a reasonable period of time, I think that would go a long way to make people
If I
feel
could
more
play maybe
engaged.
the other side of this, we've activated 40, 50 people for 3 months, 3 hours every week. And instead of figuring out what our consensus is here and whittling it down and doing the hard work here, we're now going to kick it down the road for 3 months. We're gonna ask town council and school board to go from 4 to 1 eventually, right? At some point, you're gonna have to whittle down.
Absolutely.
Why not use this opportunity where you have this incredible engagement now?
Because we need to bring all the public in. I mean, we in this room have been in this process, but nobody outside this room really knows what's going on.
So why hasn't that happened? What makes us think that it's gonna happen in the next 3 months versus the last?
I think it's also fair to represent that just because we're the ones here, we don't necessarily represent the community the way the community service survey did. Like they had demographics involved and all those things. Like we're just whatever 50 people in the town were able to show up. So like you could make a decision here, but again, just to play devil's advocate to your devil's advocate, like
Flip the page over there, so there's a plan for community.
To answer James' question about
Yes.
what's gonna be different about the next 3
I'm
months.
so glad you asked, James.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. So there it is. So May 30th Community Forum, and that would be moderated by Janice and Dana at Wentworth, and you all better bring your friends.
yeah, everyone
Okay,
brings someone.
you're all ambassadors, you gotta bring somebody.
I think
And-
I think we made that.
Yeah, wait, did you hear Don? Oh, but wait, and I know, right? I gotta get you down to my house and bring my kids. Okay, and then we can do a little training with Janice and Dana.
They volunteered to do that.
Yes, I mean, these guys are awesome. They seem like they're gonna be a lot of fun to work. And then maybe have some community roundtables, neighborhood roundtables of our own.
Time is the key
I
thing.
think
It takes
empowering
time to
people,
Mhm.
if Janice and Dana can do some trainings and empower other people to be really effective ambassadors, that I will tell you from experience, the boots on the ground effort is very, very hard and you need as many fluent volunteers as you can possibly get. And if we can pull people in who are excited and feel really well trained
Yes,
to do that, I think that's
absolutely. And you got a lot of
Really
advocates, you know, in this
Yeah.
room, right?
I think what's gonna be
The other
different over the next 3 months from what's been going on for the last 2 months is we have the tools available to us. We didn't have those tools. We didn't have the website ready to go. We didn't have Facebook ready to go. We didn't have a community forum ready to go. We didn't have trainers training the trainers, so we could go out to like the Hillcrest community and educate people with factual information and provide them with details as to what we're looking at. We have that now. And so it's not gonna take as much time for us to get out there. I mean, if we can utilize the tools available, like the reader board and other avenues, schools, getting stuff out in newsletters and things, getting to our senior population, because those are the ones that are potentially gonna vote against it because they don't have a kid in the school. Their dollars are going up, the reevaluation is coming. We need to be out there getting this information. And I've talked to Tom and I've talked to Peter, and I think we have a couple other plans. I mean, I offered up doing like the chamber has done for a community, for a candidates night, doing that, but having like a school board member, superintendent, town councilor, and then some people from the committee, and have preset questions, but have availability for people to call in and ask other questions or present their ideas and what they want and how they feel that they should be educated, how we can get to them. I think that's where we're a step ahead of game now, because we have a lot of this stuff done. And it's been some hard work from some people on this committee that have just done some outstanding brochures and things to get the information out to people.
Don't underestimate the importance of letting people know that you have a campaign. Yes. Even if they don't come, and most of them won't. The fact that you're trying to do it, that you're offering opportunities, reminding them of what engagement looks like, why it's so important. Again, it's to be sure that the next survey that comes out, nobody writes in and said, well, nobody told me this was happening. I don't know what's going on.
So the consensus of this group, I think I'm hearing is you guys are recommending bringing forward
I'm doing community engagement around.
that conversation. I think there's a lot of support for that too. See where that goes. And then two, I think I heard that if you guys do this work during the summer while they're taking the break between phase 1 and phase 2, there's a way that ideas could percolate up.
Absolutely.
If something really, is the new idea, there may be a way that can be incorporated into. Is that
Phase 2.
Yeah, are you guys comfortable with that?
Peter, the one variation, and leadership's not talked about this, but you and I were just kicking around earlier, is that all 4 should be subject to the same evaluation criteria. I think that everyone needs to get a fair shot. If you want to go through another voting session to see if there are one that falls away or two that emerge so much higher than the other two, I'm saying I think all the four pieces need to come forward and report, but there may be two that are elevated and it may not. But that voting exercise could be done pretty simply at the end of the process to see if there's a strong preference for a select few.
Sure, and it might not be, that might be useful to know, to be productive for the committee, but in terms of public engagement, having more ideas on the table
Sure.
is a more interesting proposition for people to respond to, but it also makes them feel like the process isn't too closed down. So it's
Yeah,
a little bit
important
of
thing.
just making sure that people have the opportunity to look at an open process.
I want to know it's not too late. It's not too late for your best ideas around the proposals that have already been made or around the new proposal. We want the best. If somebody can come in and convince us they've got the best ideas, it's the chief.
I will, yeah, and I love everything that's kind of happening right now. I will say the only thing I would worry about or caution about is like an early announcement that there is a deadline. Like, we can't keep taking on new ideas for like, right, till 2026. And I think deadlines are actually most important, so that we're not like, oh, and by the way, you don't get anything in a week. Like, if we're saying like, things are reconvening in September, you've got one summer to do it. So people know they can't just keep pushing and pushing.
Sure.
Oh, my kids are busy
Yeah.
this week. I'll go next week.
Yep.
So, I think as early as we can identify that time so that people know, the better as well.
Yes,
we could certainly
you
come
give
up
us a
with
Is
deadline.
that, I don't know if you guys would agree as
September
town
1.
council, but.
Number one,
Yeah,
August
we gotta
1st.
coordinate.
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
the school board, you know, we need to figure
We're
out with,
partners in this. so.
exactly.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I mean, do you think guys could, like a
I think
date
the goal,
specific?
I think the goal would be after the summer, September, right, sometime in there.
Yeah, so you
And
guys.
that's fine. That's more than enough time to do it. If we do our
I'm just
job.
assuming you would want that end or to be able to progress.
Yeah, and I mean, our going, just so you know, our thinking all along is this summer is really hard to get the public engaged. People are gone, they're on vacation, and then you have gaps in time and information and effort. So the idea was if we can get this phase completed before the summer, kick off phase 2 after the summer. I mean, that's kind of,
Yeah, the sweet spot is September, after Labor Day, but before October, because October, you're thinking election time. And this will, yeah, so.
Might be a good time for you guys too, because people are
Back
getting
to
together
school.
in the summer more.
It's great, yeah.
So is that?
It's when people are
sort of-
still reading the newsletters.
Yeah.
All those
Yes.
first
I
clean.
think it's
Yeah,
awesome.
the rest of it, yes,
I think it's awesome.
That's true.
yes,
Yeah.
fantastic.
In part because it allows us to put the rest pause. We don't need to worry about a pause because we'll now have time to do this. So the way to do away with the pause is to get your friends.
May
May
30th.
30th.
Well, and it allows
Second.
those ideas that are on the table to percolate.
Yes.
That's
Right.
And I think a lot of good can come from having that having the ideas out there. The other thing I wanted to put a pitch for is if any funds become available and you'd like to hire a social media manager prior to the fall, it would be extremely helpful for the process because this type of messaging is really a full-time job for someone who's expert in doing this. I mean, you guys know, so trying to just like a unified message on the internet and on the social media and so if any funds happen to become available in some pocket somewhere, they can be put to use by this team.
Noted.
So let us know.
It can also be helpful in just making the media flyers and things.
Very true.
Okay.
Yeah, because we will need to figure out how to pay for some materials for this, so there's gotta be something somewhere.
need a graphic designer on your volunteer board. You need to, that should be your mission. Find somebody-
Recruit a graphic designer.
Okay, find a graphic designer, all right, Don, you're on it, you're very persuasive.
Just ask people that as they come in the door. I'm sorry.
Are you a graphic designer? Would you like to help? All right.
Well, the other.
No, right, your graphic designers to the left.
The other thing we've talked about too is working with potentially some students.
Yeah.
that
I was just gonna
may-
say the youth.
That may wanna go into graphic design, and may already have some skills in this, that may be
Yeah,
able to help us.
You
out.
know, certainly we have utilized students from
Yep.
like our video production class. You know, the timing of that, obviously, right now is probably not optimum, but I think that, you know, this is work that will continue on. And so I think utilizing our students who at times are probably more knowledgeable about some of these.
Absolutely, it's funny, Julian and I discussed that way back at the beginning when we entered. And now it's coming back around, I like this.
Yeah.
And they can get volunteer hours for it.
College resident.
Absolutely.
I mean, actually just saw
Well,
some
dress
Literally used.
apparently jobs for kids this summer are far and few between. So there may be some kids that, you know, within the summer may have some spare time they'd love to.
Nice, all right,
So which will-
fantastic.
Thank you guys, that's perfect.
Thank you guys for your time, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very
You guys are
much.
doing an awesome
Yeah,
job.
thank you.
Well,
That was an extremely productive week.
good
Yeah.
leadership around this table.
Give me those slides.
Thank you for staying.
I'll,
Oh, that's a nice.
tomorrow go to the.
I was going to, and then I peeked over Diane's. Yeah, right. I love that. I did check though to see if Charlie was on.
No, it's not.
And we have another venue, maybe a fire station.
I know we want to get out of here quickly.
And we know.
So just for business, today's minutes from 5:06, 5:13, and motion for leadership study. Second. Okay, yeah, fine.
I can't keep up sometimes.
We did the communications committee. I think we talked a little bit about the subcommittee work. I think
Oh, that's great.
Oh my God, I
Just
can't
getting
have a
into the
conversation in the airport.
Fine metrics.
Yeah, please.
Nothing better to do than get into a town office for a meeting.
I'm happy to leave that too. You are, okay, you deserve it. I mean, for the longest.
Are you trying to vote?
Just, I think it's even still show the ideas that there are more, you know, like you rate the ideas in terms of, you know, where there seems to be more support for you.
Something's
right.
Training the trainers. Training trainers, you're gonna be a fantastic ambassador. You got it written all over your face.
That will apply to.
Yeah,
Peter and I were talking with that kind of spirit of, okay, we're gonna vote. Maybe not voting with 3 dots this time around, because last time around there were so many ideas.
Yeah.
But now when there's 4 and you have 3, like people were doing the like
Yeah.
3 on 1 and like all that. Do we wanna cut it down to like a winner or first, second? So, and like,
Generally, when you do that type of power voting, you should have half the number of dots as the number of ideas.
That's a great idea.
so
Like
2.
that is the kind of.
I think that's reasonable, yeah.
So then that way you have a little bit of a sort of, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So for the agenda for the next full committee meeting, I'll recap, so we'll start to work on their presentations. And come
Present
prepared
the matrix.
and present the menus.
Too big, yep.
Yep.
Crazy, right? I'm really impressed.
Anything else, anybody?
I guess moving public comment.
Oh, yes. To get it as a really.
How are we gonna start making the report?
I don't know.
I'd love you asked the
I
question.
adore your dedication to
Yeah,
the
the first,
report.
right, the first meeting, I think you asked that. I shared with you and Peter and Charlie what I did with the ad hoc charter committee. And really what you see is there's a 6 or 7 page executive summary, thanked, you know, a bunch of people, listed committee members, outlined a process that we went through. And then kind of high leveled it in a simple-ish enough report for a council to consume at the time. Behind it was 200 pages of our meeting minutes and all of the nitty gritty that you could delve into if you wanted to. And I would suggest a format like that would probably serve you well.
So James, I would think, you know, the kind of thought was after, it's gonna be a short time frame after the 3rd.
Right.
Then, you know, I don't know who wants to participate in writing, but certainly reviewing it.
carve it out.
Could be a small number. My experience is if you have a number of
Too many
people drafting,
cooks.
it's really hard.
Yeah, so maybe, I'll talk to Charlie, but Charlie and I can draft, unless you have a burning passion to do so, that's great.
It's that or you each take a piece of it. Somebody
Yeah.
does the high level executive final summary for people,
Yeah.
somebody does a process section, some divvy up the work a little bit, how you got here, who was involved, divvy up the work that way, so, and then bring it
Writes a
together.
piece.
And then
I'm gonna
Smash
recommend
it
that
together.
April and I do not have a handwriting report that we're going to receive.
That's reasonable. I second that idea.
What format should we do? Like, because I think we're making a presentation, so I don't wanna make a Word and then a PowerPoint.
Speaking of, do you guys expect literally us to come to town council and present it, or?
So I would, it would be a joint council Board of Education meeting.
Okay.
I would say that you do want a couple of slides, high level, that you can share, the public can follow along at home on Zoom, we can see it visually, but then we would also have a paper report.
I mean,
right, your actual.
the body's gonna be heavy text.
Correct.
I asked, Nick and I talked, he shared a template of what he did, so I'm assuming the structure would be similar to that. And we can talk about, maybe we should, Charlie, you and I should just kind of talk offline and see, do we wanna divide it up? How do we wanna do that?
James, do you want to give some thought to a basic outline so we just understand the component pieces and then maybe we can find people that are willing to step up and do parts of it?
I think definitely like an exec sum, probably like a paragraph on each of the subcommittees and their, like the original subcommittees that we had, and then maybe a paragraph on each of the options and where that landed. And then we can have a huge appendix.
So I think the
Yeah, I
committee
was gonna say the
chairs
process
are,
and that we brought in the experts would be really key to, like Todd and everyone to come in.
I just know your baselining, right?
It may not be unreasonable to task each of the four ideas, their chairs to come up. I want to make sure we give their proposal do it justice, right? Sure.
I would also backtrack and task the chairs of the original subcommittees with writing that paragraph.
Yeah.
I think that they were, I think that they were prepared to, I think, from my own experience, James, I had already kind of indicated that that was gonna be part of the work, and he may already have the building infrastructure one done.
And if you have each of those chairs provide you with content, you can still then take it and write it in one voice, right? But at least you have the substance to work from.
And I think they've done a similar thing for the communications committee too, right? They've gone to each chair and asked them to summarize.
Yes.
What sort of the high level, so those documents might already exist with the
Sure, the communications committee is morphed into our conscience, but they've been, no, it's just interesting the guidance that they've been giving. Sorry.
On the phone.
Digress.
Yeah, so let's to answer your question, let's kind of huddle offline. And so I think with that being, anything else? That should get everybody out of here.
So anyone else interested in, I think Charlie and Diane and I can take a good stab, we'll circulate the leadership team, probably look for a quick turnaround. Because I think
On the matrix.
on the matrix.
Yeah.
Because we'd like to have a final product to present, to start off your meeting next week.
Yeah, no, I'd like to get it out to
With the agenda.
everybody Wednesday, Thursday, tomorrow's, Wednesday, by end of week, so they have some time to look at it.
All right, I'll reach out to Charlie tonight, see what his availability is.
Just realized we had a huge miss. Anna Lee is the only person you see on our leadership team Zoom meeting. The back of
Oh, we
Anna.
should move the camera.
So anyone watching at home.
Sorry, guys.
It's your
She's
fault.
all alone. She's
They
all
heard
alone.
us.
For everybody that's interested, did everybody get Jim Pritchett's report about trying to?
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to them a little bit about it.
Anybody want a hard copy? Sure. Anybody want get a hard copy? He sent an email or
This was the one he's working on?
he did an analysis showing he doesn't think there needs to be an expansion based on the enrollment numbers, so he used two different models. But he's uncomfortable, he's not sure
He's concerned his numbers may not be right.
I get the same numbers when I look through it.
So when I talked to him, I think what he's trying to highlight is that it wasn't sitting well with him, was that the recommended square foot number of 160 would indicate that middle school is actually sized appropriately to handle the class grades coming through. But we know that's not material true. So, well, I think he brought, because he came out before the meeting started and talked to me about it. He was uncomfortable, like, how is it, the numbers are telling me we should have adequate space, but we know from in practice, it's not.
Yeah, and what we talked about was like some of the design elements, right, that are germane to a specific building. Either, provide more student space or less, and if we look at the way that middle school is designed, for those of you who have been in it, like there's a rotunda in the middle that is basically dead space. And then the way each of the grade level hallways are aligned, they're kind of like a funnel, right? So they start small, but then they really flare out at the ends where you have, seating areas so that you could have flexible student space. So all of that just completely eats at that square footage per student, right? And so I think that does create what looks like on paper, well, we have enough room, when in actuality, the way in which it was configured doesn't lend itself to efficiency.
That should be a lesson we take with us when we design the next.
I agree with you.
Right?
Every space needs to be useful.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great Memorial Day.